And what is it? When even our struggling readers are doing significantly better. We have a couple kids in each class that, we're pretty low compared to everyone else. And their phonemic awareness is increasing. Their everything just seems to be going up. And it's also translating into fluency and comprehension and all those little aspects of it. Because as you're learning each of these words, all that stuff is also growing. And it's a phenomenal program. Before kinder, I taught 5th grade and 3rd grade, so my kids already knew how to read. I didn't really have to do this teach to read thing. But it's crazy seeing how fast they're getting. And in kindergarten, I was really, TK in kindergarten. Let me clarify that. I have 4 TKers, and my TKers are at the same par as all my kinders. So they have all of their letters, all of their, almost all of their sounds. The report card for TK is 3 letters. Most of mine have 25, 26, 24. And then for kinder, you have to know 10 letters, and they have mastered almost all of them. So as of right now, everyone in my class is meeting or exceeding standards for that aspect of it.
And because it is so sound-based and they do everything, they're reading and writing based off the sound-based, we're also seeing great results in their writing as well. And they're confident in their writing, and some of it is still invented spelling, but that confidence that they attach, oh yeah, I want to write all about that. And you'll hear them using their sounds while they're writing. So it's also impacting their writing as well.
Yeah, we give spelling tests in kindergarten, which I never thought was a possibility. But I said, can you write the word fit? And everyone that I've tested today has been able to do that. So it's really cool.
And I've also seen as a 3rd grade teacher. So a lot of my kids came in between COVID and the fire and still trying to recuperate from everything. I have some really, really low readers. So I use UFly as a whole group, a whole class instruction. And then for my small reading group and our win time, I do smaller lessons based on where they're at specifically. And I have all of my really struggling readers have grown almost an entire year worth of reading in this first trimester. I have one who has gone up 151% of his annual growth just from the beginning of the year. So like they said, it's not only improving their reading, his fluency has improved by almost 50% as well. So it's really an impactful curriculum that we're using in our school.
And we do appreciate Camille's support. She has been, I think we've had her here 3 times that we've been able to go sit with her and say, okay, X, Y happened. What do you think? So her support has been phenomenal.
We really wanted to emphasize, like, Greenville is a little bit different versus the rest of the district because of COVID and Dixie Fire and all that stuff that happened. So our kids missed a ton of school. So seeing this tremendous growth right now, I can't wait to see within the rest of the year it's going to bring. And I really hope that the other district or the other schools in our district have similar growth. It's really cool to see that in the end.
And this is based off of our iReady data. So we are using iReady as our data source. So that's the typical growth and annual growth that's all coming from iReady. This is also the first year that we have had straight grade levels in a long time. And so that is really showing how this is impactful as well. We have a smaller class size, we're really able to help each child. And because of the win time, they're getting, win stands for what I need. So they're really getting that direct instruction again at their level so that we can make that growth. 2 years ago, I was in a 2nd and 3rd grade teacher, and those were the COVID babies. And so we really saw, my daughter was one of them. They were in kindergarten and TK when COVID hit. So they lost all of that instruction in kindergarten. Everything was on Zoom. Then we had hubs the next year where we were trying to keep everyone 6 feet apart, then 3 feet apart. And it just really showed. Then the fire hit. We were a month late into school. We were moved to Taylorsville Elementary, which we were so thankful for that we were able to stay in the community. But then poor Miss Johnson's class in 1st and 2nd grade got hit with COVID. Every time one person got COVID in that classroom, the whole classroom was shut down for 14 days. So, and that happened at least 4 or 5 times. So just the amount of instruction that was lost due to COVID and the Dixie Fire, I just really feel like this year is our year and I'm super excited. The team that we have is amazing. We all love our students and we are so happy with the growth that they're making. So thank you for adopting this program. We love it and it's definitely working.
I have a
Thank
question.
you.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Are you finding the kids are more engaged because of the type? I mean, they're actually being engaged themselves, not having to be induced.
They love youth playtime. And they just, in first grade, we sit on the rug and do it. And they love it. And the magnetic tile are so powerful. The letters that they're making the words, and you're supposed to do it on the second day, and I do it on both days because you can see them learning. It's amazing. I've been a first grade teacher for 16 years, and I always said there's something missing. I asked Mrs. Rodriguez, like, what am I doing wrong? And I realized it was the curriculum. Like this is what we need. This is the most powerful. This is amazing. It's just, it's
And in second grade, mine are so excited to write using their sounds. They can't, is it time to write the sentences? Is it time to write the sentences? I'm like, hang on. Like they're just ready.
And then therefore, the first grade's done with writing assessments. I've never seen first grade writing like this. It's just a dream come true. I just love it.
I will tell you, I was very skeptical coming into the curriculum and seeing all the things that I had to do with my TK kids. How are we going to get whiteboards out and do our things and put them away and then take out our woodwork and then find the letters? Do they even know their letters? How are they going to find the letters, put them down and then manipulate them the way they do? And then do the pounding and sounding and the tapping and then like, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like this. They want you to go really, really fast. Perky pace. But they got it. We've
But
had
that's how you keep them engaged with that.
I've had a couple observations. Camille's gonna come out and look at us again in December. And they're just able to do it. And I'm just blown away, like how quick they do it and they're happy to do it. And so we've been doing, I'm gonna count down 5, 4, 3, and they have to have it all switched and ready to go. And they just have it. It's just great.
Now, I will say the key is teaching it to fidelity. So if you pick parts that you like, you're probably not going to have the same results because it really builds on each other. So.
And understanding, having a base level of the training is probably not sufficient enough. I remember when starting, I was like, why is this a blank screen? I don't understand this. And then I went back and read fully. And I was like, oh, they're supposed to be writing down the sounds that I produce at this point, not them producing the sounds from the output they previously saw. And so then we redid that part of it and it just made it go faster. So making sure that we have a full understanding of it before implementing it would definitely be helpful.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'd like to invite board member Chelsea Harrison. And so are our student representative. Can you also explain last month's circumstances?
Oh, sure.
Contact.
So Ariana was at the thank you outdoor leadership. So we did not get to do this process in Chester. So thank you for allowing your time here for me to be able to swear Ariana in. But it was definitely a worthwhile cause for her to not be with us last month. So repeat after me, please. So the oath of office of public officers and employees of the state of California and Plymouth County of Plymouth. I, Ariana Boatwright, do solemnly swear.
I, Ariana Boatwright, do solemnly swear
That I will support and defend.
that I will support and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States,
The Constitution of the state of California.
the Constitution of the state of California,
Against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States.
to the Constitution of the United States,
The Constitution of the state of California.
the Constitution of the state of California,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
That I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you. So thank you. So, I'm sorry, that's probably you.
Oh, no. Do you have any, I think, some updates you want to provide?
So Maria, do you want to share some updates associated with what's going on at our school?
Sure. This year I am a part of a lot of leadership happening at like Chester Junior Senior High School. And this year we are having a lot of different pep rallies, and it is really helping changing our school in a lot of different ways, meaning that there is a lot more student involvement and staff involvement. Our school is really just coming together, and I feel like it is really making it a better place. This year, I have also seen a great improvement in our athletics program. There's just a lot of changes happening with our coaches sticking with our program, and coaches working together, and it's just becoming and expanding more, and everyone's just really working together. So
Thank you. Okay, now is the time and place for public input. I'd like to read something first. No action or discussion shall be undertaken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda, except that members of the board or the Plymouth Unified School District staff may briefly respond to statements made or questions posed during public input. This is state law. There is a 3-minute time limit for each person who addresses the board. Find the rest of it here. Again, the speaker time limit of 3 minutes, and it will be monitored. And there's a limit of 20 minutes per topic. For example, if you have 7 people speaking about one topic, regardless of the individual time limit, that time limit shall not exceed 20 minutes. And that being said, I'd like to invite Alicia Banning forward.
Actually, I would actually like for CSBA 193 to speak before me. If that's possible.
Okay,
I'm here on behalf of PCP.
sure. No problem. How about Kara Frank?
To stand. Okay. Thank you for having me. I'm Kara Frank. I'm a special day class teacher. I'm a mod severe teacher at CRC, and I'm here to speak in support of CSBA 193. For my classified staff members who work in my mod severe program. I just want to give you guys a little bit of information on what we're trusting classified staff members to do in my classroom. I have a classroom that we don't get a lot of visitors. CRC is great. They keep us kind of in the middle of everything. So we're a little bit locally famous, but we pretty much work together with each other all day long, and it isn't always obvious to everyone what we're doing in there. My paraprofessional staff, they're making real-time decisions all the time. From the minute that the students get off of the bus, we have students who, some of them need curb-to-curb support, meaning from the minute they get off the bus until they step back on the bus, they need support for their entire day, whether it's help with going to the bathroom, help with getting their breakfast, some of them eating their breakfast and feeding. And because there's one of me, and I have 8 students right now in my caseload, their paraprofessionals are the ones who are implementing under my direction all the parts of the IEP, and they are the ones who are truly following the law to ensure the right to a free public education for the students who are in SDC. And this matters to the board, and I'm going to tell you why. If it was me in that classroom and we subtracted the paraprofessional staff from the room. So I have students in my classroom who are nonverbal. I have students in my classroom who speak using, we call them PECs, they're little picture exchange images. We have students in my classroom who communicate with behavior. We have students in my classroom who communicate physically with their bodies, so using their hands or their legs or their whole self to tell you something. We have students who communicate, and the only way to understand what they're saying is to get to know them and to look in their eyes and to really to connect with them emotionally. And so it's not unheard of to have a paraprofessional in the classroom who's expected to know 8 different languages.
You have a minute left.
My students they're in 7 different grade levels, and there's a total of 50 goals
on the IEPs in my classroom. So I'm not able to work on meeting 50 goals by myself in the classroom, right? There's a cost to not having these staff members in that classroom. And instead of looking at the cost of having the staff members, if we were just to look at the cost of not having the staff members in there, we're paying people to connect on an emotional level. We know, especially this year as we're learning so much about social emotional learning,
30 seconds.
generational poverty is traumatic for students. Intensive behavior that goes unsupported can prevent students from learning. You have classified staff who are working to help keep children in their desk and learning. And if you look at that in a long-term level, keeping students out of special education, keeping them in general education. So I'm only asking for you guys to, in your decision-making, that we want the pay to be proportionate to the level of responsibility that these employees have. Thank you.
Thank you. Invite, I'm going to mess up the name here, but it's Latia Dutton. Thank you.
In September, our negotiations team requested additional negotiation dates to ensure that we would have the 2023 and 2024 contract finalized by the end of this calendar year so that we could begin to work on this year's contract. We were told that the district could not find more days due to scheduling conflicts. However, we mutually agreed to extend the time of our existing meetings to a full day to help ensure productivity, and we believed in good faith that we would show up in October and make progress. However, during our October 17th meeting, negotiations were cut short after 2 hours, as we were told that they did not have the authorization to offer more or to negotiate on the other items that we had opened for this contract year. We had taken 6 hours away from our jobs to travel to Quincy, only to be told that there was no way to negotiate. There was just an offer that we could accept or reject. We rejected that offer. We have formally requested information from the district that has not been returned in a given time frame. Deadlines come and go, and we receive no answers to the formal request, furthering delaying the capacity to efficiently negotiate. We were told that offering us more than the percentage that PCTA received would mean that the district would have to give the same raise to everyone else. This is not true. Percentages are not equitable. For example, a 2.5% raise for some of our employees is about $40 a month. Percentages between classified employees, teachers, and administrators do not work out the same. It's possible to give a higher percentage to a classified employee because the higher percentage in real dollars equates to a smaller amount than a 2% raise in actual dollars to a certificated employee or to an administrator. While we understand that we do not negotiate directly with the school board, in the past, a board member has agreed to attend negotiations to observe this process. We are kindly and respectfully requesting that a board member attend our December meeting and every subsequent meeting until both last year's and this year's contracts are ratified. We owe it to our 157 classified employees, some of whom make 30% below a living wage, to settle last year's contract as soon as possible. The delay is not on us. We are ready to negotiate. We do not accept the reasoning that negotiations cannot move forward because this district lacks a permanent superintendent. If this was the excuse, we would be agreeing to the possibility of more future delays. Our employees deserve to be fairly compensated for the essential professional positions that we fill. We are committed to securing a fair and timely resolution for our members, and we would hope that future meetings, the district arrives at the table willing and given the authority to negotiate. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite up Teresa Belcher-Howe. Teresa. We have a microphone.
Oh, I think I'm all right without. Am I loud enough? I don't need one more thing.
Give it a shot. It's bad.
Doesn't cut into my time, does it?
No.
Good afternoon. Let's put my glasses. Hang on one second. Thank you for allowing me to address the board this evening. My name is Teresa Belshahau, and I currently serve as the president for CSEA 193. Let me remind you which school district employees are contained within our unit. We are the people that arrive at work earlier than most. We clean the school, we make sure the heat is on, we make breakfast for arriving students, we ready the buses to pick up those students, we keep the school buses and other district vehicles on the road. Sorry, I'm not gonna cry. We deliver items from the warehouse district-wide. We answer phones, manage the office, process attendance, serve the special education students, supervise students during recess, staff the libraries, and coordinate the outdoor ed program. And often we are the last workers on site as we run after-school programs, dispatch for the school buses, drop students off at their bus stops. You literally cannot do the business of school without us. We are essential. I feel the need to remind you who we are because we feel disrespected, forgotten, and abandoned by our district. For example, as stated in section 23, article J of our contract, the district is supposed to notify CSEA 193 by July 1st, the amount in a health and welfare special reserve account. The information was not provided by the district, and so we requested it in early September in preparation for our first negotiation meeting of the new year. A second request had to be made, and finally, near the end of September, it was disclosed by the district that there should be more than $500,000 in that account from the previous year. During our most recent negotiations with the district, we were presented with a 2.5% pay increase offer, and according to those present, the board would not authorize a higher percentage increase, period. 2.5%, as many have stated, is not equitable. Those of us living in Plumas County face the same increasing housing costs, grocery prices, electricity, healthcare, gas prices, and everything else. We have many classified openings that go unfilled because the entry pay is not competitive. This means that we never have adequate food service workers, paraeducators, bus drivers, custodians, etc.
30 seconds.
This puts more pressure on those of us working for the district as we are often covering for unfilled openings, being asked to do more with less. We are here today to request that the district engage in real and meaningful negotiations with our unit, resulting in a fair and equitable wage for a very valuable worker.
Thank you. Is Christy Madalena speaking on the same issue or a different issue?
A little bit different, I think.
Oh, then come on up.
Related, but different. Thank you for having me here. Every adult employee at PUSD is worthy of a living wage. To settle for anything less is to undervalue their essential contributions. I'm here to advocate for the respect and fairness classified employees deserve. My name is Christy Madalena, and I'm an administrative assistant at CRC. I have been a part of this incredible educational community for 15 years. Hired in 2009, the starting wage was $1.50 per hour above minimum wage, only $2 per hour short of a living wage. It seemed like a secure opportunity for a stay-at-home mom of 10 years to re-enter the workforce. A living wage developed by the MIT Living Wage Calculator in 2003 is essential first and foremost to ensure all educators can live with dignity, which directly impacts their ability to serve students effectively. When educators receive proper compensation, they are more likely to be engaged and committed to their roles, contributing significantly to the maintenance and growth of student enrollment through excellent programs. Furthermore, offering competitive pay is vital for attracting and retaining the best talent in our schools, ensuring that students receive the highest quality education possible.
Our LCAP emphasizes the goal to recruit and retain the most talented student-centered staff and invest in their professional growth. To fully realize this objective, it may be beneficial to evaluate our hiring practices and salary structures to ensure they effectively support and reflect this commitment. Historically, our wages have been nearly $2 per hour above the minimum wage and only $2 an hour below what has been considered a living wage. Currently, we are just 72 cents an hour above the minimum wage, which is insufficient, leaving us a significant $4.67 per hour short of a living wage. It's crucial that we address this disparity. We need to find a solution to eliminate this 28% wage gap. To address the current challenges, it's essential to develop a competitive classification and compensation structure that ensures fairness and equity within the organization. The system should classify positions that perform similar work and require comparable levels of complexity, responsibility, and knowledge together, promoting consistency in compensation. Additionally, it would be important to recommend policy changes that support this new compensation framework. A key aspect of our commitment is to continuously raise wages until they meet the living wage standard, ensuring that all employees can achieve a basic quality of life. In conclusion, my personal goal is to see us all working together for meaningful change. Achieving a living wage for everyone in Plumas Unified requires collaboration among all stakeholders. To facilitate this, we will conduct a comprehensive classification and compensation study for all classified positions. It's paramount that we maintain full transparency and a strong commitment from all parties involved. By coming together, we can ensure that our educators are supported, which in turn allows them to help our students succeed. We should strive to be an employer of choice within our community. I encourage you to reach out to me so that we can discuss how to turn these goals into a reality. Thank you.
Now, Alicia Manning.
Yes. Yeah, sure, you can go up on a microphone. I did prepare remarks on behalf of Plumas County Teachers Association. Good afternoon, members of the Plumas Unified School Board. My name is Alicia Banning. I am president of the Plumas County Teachers Association, a classroom teacher, a parent to students who attend PUSD schools, and a supporter of my union brothers and sisters in their fight for a fair and livable wage. I stand before you today on behalf of PCTA to voice our support for the ongoing salary negotiations between PUSD and CSEA 193. Our classified staff are amongst the hardest working individuals I have ever known in my professional career. Our classified staff consistently support our schools and our students, but whose contributions often go unrecognized and undervalued. Our classified staff, custodians, instructional aides, clerical workers, transportation personnel, food service workers, and many others are the backbone of our school district. They are the ones who keep our schools running smoothly, creating a safe, supportive, and enriching environment for students and staff alike. Whether it's ensuring our classrooms are clean and well-maintained, providing transportation to and from school, or assisting students with special needs, these employees make a difference every single day. It is impossible for any classroom teacher to do their job without the unwavering support of our classified employees. But despite the critical role they play, many of these dedicated individuals are struggling to make ends meet. The rising cost of living, inflation, and the increasing demands of the roles have put significant strain on their families. They deserve to be compensated fairly for the work they do, work that is vital to the success of our students and the well-being of our school community. The gap between what classified staff earn and what they need to live comfortably is widening. We are seeing the impact of this not only in the morale of our staff, but also in the district's ability to recruit and retain the skilled employees necessary to keep our schools functioning. It is not just about fairness. It is about investing in the future of our district, community, and most crucially, our children. By providing a fair and competitive salary, we will not only support our current staff, but also send a clear message that Plumas Unified values all of its employees. These workers are not just a part of the educational system. They are an integral part of our community. They deserve respect, dignity, and recognition in the form of fair compensation. I urge the school boards to prioritize these negotiations and work collaboratively with CSEA 193 to reach an agreement that reflects the true value of these essential workers. A strong and fair contract for our classified staff. It is an investment in the entire Plumas Unified School District, our students, our educators, and our community. Thank you for your time and consideration. I hope that you will do the right thing for our district and our classified employees.
Here's that concludes public comment. Student achievement, school plans for student achievement.
Seeking approval for all of our schools tonight so that we don't have to do this month after month. So all of our plans have gone to school site council and have been approved. And so seeking approval.
I have a question on the suspension.
Yeah.
Piece, and there, you know, there's a lot of reference to alternative methods. And I know we talked about what training, you know, what the direction.
So currently most of our vice principals, they host alternative student suspension or opportunity teachers. We don't have like a process for that because it really serves as a restorative circle and trying to keep students in school. So definitely the area that Andrea and I are focused on for this year, just bettering our MTSS practices.
Anyone else? There's a recommendation for us to approve the single plan for student achievement for the schools.
Second.
There's a first and a second. All of those in favor? Next is the math placement policy data.
So this is information only that we bring to you each year. And so the policy has not changed. So we look at student achievement data and grades to place our 8th graders into high school classes. So I shared with you. Yeah, I'm trying. The pen. You. So here's our policy on the first page here. And then this is the same thing we share with you each year. Our policy will come to you next month with minor changes to it, but that will be moving forward. And then we just did a comparison here from 2023 to 2024. It really hasn't changed much. We shared this data at our instructional leadership team meeting last month with our high school principals. And really, we would like to see more students at Chester Junior Senior High in integrated 1 and 9th grade. And they have created a really incredible opportunity for intervention for students for the school year. So we're really looking forward to seeing where students place next school year.
What's he not offered? Did they not offer the integrated 1A or just that many students?
Yeah. And this is information.
Any other questions or comments? This is information only, no actions required. Our next item up is Child and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative Capacity Grant.
Yes, so this is information for you to have because later on in the agenda is an approval for our contract. So this is just to give you some information in regards to our CYBHI grant. This was something that the district received. It's statewide. So this is for a school-linked capacity grant. And the goals of it is it's a one-time investment and it lets school districts be able to do all of the billing themselves. This is, I think, a new initiative. I feel this is a new initiative across the state to help keep school district funded. Because as we saw from COVID, we started offering a lot more services for mental health and well-being. And now all that COVID money is gone, but we still know we need all of that support. So this is one way with this grant. You work with a company to set up different things so that you are able to bill in your district. You can go to the next one. So working with Healthy Campus, the thing that we liked about this one is that it's one company doing all of the work. You can take the grant money and work with many different agencies, but then you have a lot of different agencies. Healthy Campus comes in, they set up everything in your district so that you can do all of the billing. It's Medi-Cal billing. It talks with the state. They come in and do all of the training for all of the employees. And then we also, I think, next one. So with Healthy Campus, they provide all of these things. So one of the big things that we've needed to find is an EHR system, which is an electronic health records. Our nurses need to use it, our therapists, everyone. So everything is done through them. They have everything's the same. And then everything will talk to the state that needs to talk to the state. So the nice thing about this company is they do it all. So,
So is this gonna require a staff person? So the first year they come in, they get it all set up, and then who runs it after that?
So the wonderful thing about them also is we don't have to hire someone else to come in and do all of this work. They're doing it all. They will come in and train our people. Once our people are trained, they'll be able to do their job with it and handle that process. So that was the other like bonus to this company. We're not having to hire other people to teach us how to do
We'll
things.
continue to contract with them.
It's, I believe it's a 5 to 6 year contract. So they don't just come in, swoop in and do some stuff and leave us high and dry. They're very committed to the process.
Do we have an idea of what, sorry, I'm
It's okay.
monopolizing. Do we have an idea of what, what it'll net for us? We know for sure that it's cost effective.
So cost effective, like the most positive thing within 3 to 5 years, you can see, I believe they said $1.4 million. That's like top of the line gold stuff. We might not see that right away, but there is the potential to make that money. So it will take us a couple of years to get it all going and in place, but once we get it rolling, it will help with funding, especially for our nurses and our therapists. So, and the great thing about this also is our communication with all of these programs communicates with our county, hospital, anything like that that we need to share records for the well-being of the child, and with the state, it's all right there. So that was just information for you. If you have any questions, I can answer them.
And this program only works within the state, so if they have doctors outside, do they have to be Medi-Cal eligible?
It's Medi-Cal.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is credit requirements for Jim Beckworth High School.
Yes, so one of the duties that falls under my job is I oversee alternative ed. One of those things is our Jim Beckworth High Schools. In meeting with the teachers and hearing their concerns and even a couple of the site admins. The concern is our Jim Beckworth High Schools, the intentions are for our students that are credit deficient, and whatever else is going on in their lives that, has caused issues along the way and we're not able to keep up with high school. So they're able to enroll into our Jim Beckworth programs so that we can work on their credit deficiencies and help them, get directed so they can graduate. With that being said, the current amount of credits that's required in our district for a high school student to graduate is 245. That is also currently the requirement for Jim Beckworth High School kids. That makes 0 sense. The point of the Jim Beckworth schools is to help these kids that are credit deficient to be able to graduate and get them on the right track. So if you're working with a child who's already faced a lot of hardships, and you put them in this school where it's supposed to help them, if they are facing the same amount of credits required, you're still there, it's an uphill battle for them still. It makes zero sense. So I worked with our teacher from PCCS. I also reached out to 2 other school districts and got their credit requirements for their continuation school, and they average between 160 and 180. So our proposed credits for Jim Beckler schools would be 175 for them to graduate. And that's what we are seeking approval for tonight.
Which districts do you talk to?
We worked with Sierra County, and then Emily Reed brought her information from Napa County. The state minimum requirements is 130, and we do have students. Yes.
I haven't seen the chart yet, so I'm curious, because it matters what the credits are getting out the door with and what they're gonna be able to do with those credits.
Right. So they're basically the same types of requirements that they need for high school. It's just at a lesser amount. They still have to have English and math and science and history.
So what's missing is the elective.
Yeah, less electives. Not as much science.
What's the graduation rate been? Have we been having issues with students graduating?
We have kids dropping out currently from Jim Beckworth high schools because that's an uphill battle.
Is that been a trend?
This is my 4th month here. I'm not sure.
It has been a trend. What happens is we try to pick them up in adult ed, but once you lose them, it's so hard to get them back. And so we're hoping to keep them in the program where they can actually attend school rather than them dropping out and then ending up in adult ed later.
Jim Beckworth is our only continuation high school then?
We have 2 Jim Beckworth, and then we have PCCS.
PCCS falls under the CDE though for a community day school, and its requirements are 180.
It already has.
It already has different things set by
What's the difference
CDE.
between that one and Jim Beckworth? I didn't know we had more than that. We called both of them Jim Beckworth. I didn't know that.
So that's where we
were told a thing.
This is why we've been confused, because PCCS has different graduation requirements. And then we were doing audits on transcripts for students. And we're like, why doesn't it fall in line with PCCS and other alt ed programs? So that's what started this process. Like how do we increase our graduation rate?
So how did PCCS get to 180?
So I talked with a gentleman at CDE who oversees alternative ed. So in the state, community day schools, therefore our expelled students or severe cases of attendance with SARB recommendation. So those schools can be listed under county or district side. If they're listed under county side, which ours is, it's 180 state requirement for them. You'll also find, to add confusion to it with more credits, you'll also find that most of our students also will qualify for the foster youth or homeless credits, which gets you the 130, the minimum. So there's also, options there. Our goal is we just want students to graduate and hopefully, continue on and be, a positive part of society. So we don't want to have them face that battle in high school where they feel like there's no chance.
Did you think about aligning it with PCCS?
We did, but again, so that's the other thing. We don't want to keep PCCS students in there forever. Our job is to actually work with them, rehabilitate, and get them back into school. So one of their choices might be Jim Beckworth, more than likely. So again, we don't want to throw them from one thing and then face something really high again, right? We want to make it achievable for them.
How do you encourage kids that are kind of on the margin to stay in traditional high school? It's,
Well,
I
right
could see
now,
somebody saying, wow, I could knock a year off of my high school experience.
but to go into the Jim Beckworth School, you have to be extremely credit deficient. Or, yeah, you can't just say, I like that option. It's,
That's what.
yeah, no, it's, those are places where we need to put students that are having a lot of problems, so we want to help.
And they can't enroll in Jim Beckford High School until they're 16 unless there's special circumstances. So by that point, they're likely very credit deficient for freshmen and sophomore. And it's really hard to get them.
Who makes the final decision? The principal?
How is it decided?
Oh, there's an SST process. So the MTSS teams are looking at students and they're auditing their transcripts with the counselor and they're like, oh boy, we need to have a meeting and.
It can also be a part of our SAR process.
Yeah.
And yeah, they don't get to just say like, I'm having a hard time, I'm gonna here. There's a process.
How many do we have? Do we know?
I believe there's 14 at Portola High School right now.
0 in senior high school.
So going to affect 3, it's going to affect this year.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve your proposal. I'll second.
There's a first and a second. All of those in favor? Motion
I
passes.
understand.
We have the facilities update. Like Mallory's not here this evening, who's pinch hitting.
I'm doing this part, so on this, so these are our facilities contract list for this month. You just need to look at it. See, we have these are all under the PUSD side. We just need a motion to these ones.
Clarify the, alcohol fields. Says routine restricted maintenance, then it also. Be paid out of routine restricted maintenance until we get money or what?
Either that. Either that or.
Once we finish arguing with the insurance.
You still arguing with them? So it may be they pay down the Dixie Fire insurance.
Part will be, they pay some. Sometimes they decide they want to do less than what's really required for the experience.
Move to approve the 4 facilities contracts. Second.
There's a first, there's a second. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Thank you. Now we have. It's like a resolution here. There are resolutions from for both the Plymouth County Office of Education and the Plymouth Unified School District. Recognizing and honoring Native American heritage. So I'm going to read the resolution and then we'll go ahead and vote on it after that. This is the resolution. Specifically, it's Plymouth County Board of Education Resolution number 2425-06 and Plymouth Unified School District Resolution 1664, recognizing and honoring Native American Heritage Month. Whereas the Plymouth County Office of Education and the Plymouth Unified School District recognizes the significant contributions that Native Americans have made to the history, culture, and growth of the United States, the state of California, and Plymouth County. And whereas Native American Heritage Month is an opportunity to celebrate and recognize the diverse cultures, traditions, and contributions of Native Americans, And whereas the Office of Education and the school district acknowledge the need to educate students and staff about the history and culture of Native Americans. And whereas the Office of Education and the school district is committed to promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion within our schools and community. And whereas the Office of Education and the school district joins with Native American communities in honoring the accomplishments and contributions of Native Americans to our society. Now, therefore, be it recognized that the Plumas County Office of Education and the Plumas Unified School District, that November be recognized as Native American Heritage Month in our schools, and that our students and staff be encouraged to participate in educational and cultural activities that promote understanding and appreciation of Native American history and culture. We can take these together as one motion, is that right? So, and this is a roll call vote, but I'm looking for a first and a second on the two resolutions.
To adopt the resolution. Second.
There's a first and a second roll call vote, please.
Fine.
Aye.
Edmund.
Aye.
Harrison. Aye. Keller.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. And then we're removing policy updates, is that correct?
Moving to the December agenda.
To the December agenda, so we're not doing that item, which shall enable us to move forward to the consent items. First up are the minutes from the board meeting of September 26th, 2024 is a special meeting of the school district.
Move to approve.
First and a second, all of those in favor? Aye. It's approved. And then minutes from the regular board meeting of October 9th, 2024.
Move to approve. I'll second.
There's a first and there's a second. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Next up are the service contracts that are included in this agenda. The Plumas County Office of Education is for information only. Is that correct? Can we go ahead and approve that?
For the campus clinic, that's the presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 2-year prompt, right? Or a year and a half.
That's the grant that we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
So it's an in and an out?
It's a what?
It's an in and an out?
We pay for the service and then hopefully we get funding back
Yes.
through that.
Yeah.
And
The grant's $500,000. For $500,000 total.
It's to implement that.
An implementation grant.
And some of that money goes to Carter, which is what we did.
grant is kind of a straightforward. Yeah.
Yes. Right. It's a grant that you can only use it for. So we're contracting, what does this mean? We're contracting with Campus Clinic from October 24, which has already happened, until June of 2026, right? That's what this says? At a cost of $373,000. But you stay with them.
Yes.
So will the costs change at that point?
That's it.
And then would we get more, is the grant available again? So, or it's just a flat
I
500?
believe it's just a 500,000
So then it would be
implementation.
our cost after that. So it'd be.
So we've got to build
additional
enough to make it worth it.
An additional 5 to cover for the next.
They have to help us leverage that account building. And so
Because then we'll be looking at profit on
Yeah.
that.
yes.
They want us to succeed as much as we want us to succeed.
Just curious, they think that there has to be a tipping point where you have enough participants that makes it
Yeah.
worthwhile.
So
And
it's,
they think we make that as small as we are?
so because there's many people in our district that have billing capabilities. So they and they will come in and tell us who has those capabilities, and then they will come in and train those people to do that.
So like student services coordinators, behavioral health, our nurses, a lot of things we haven't been able to build through medical.
Do you think we'll know in 3 years' time, when we go through the first 500, whether or not we make it? I think it's gonna pay for itself. And if not, we can pull the plug.
But basically, the money that we've been given by the state for this implementation
Right,
plan, this is what we
$500
can
is
use
anything.
it.
Yeah.
So if we don't use it, we don't get it.
Right.
We don't get to just store that money.
You can only use these funds for this purpose because schools are now also sort of medical facilities when it comes to behavioral health and other things that we used to work with our county on.
So there's no risk until we bypass, until we get through the plan.
And then you get to make a decision.
Knowing what I do for the healthcare side of things, there's a service needed that can't be satisfied. I would move to approve. So this would fill that. We would certainly help. Or fill it.
And then does somebody have to manage this part with the company? Like who's working directly with the company at our district level?
Mallory and myself.
The motion?
County. But we don't.
Put on the caps.
Just district.
Okay, so we're good. We do have service contracts for PUSD.
And these were.
I'll move to approve. Second.
First and a second, all of those in favor. Motion carries. And we have also PUSD check registers for the month of October of 2020.
I'll move to approve. Second.
There's a first and there's the second, all of those in favor. Aye. Passes. And then we have, it appears to be 3 donations.
Move to approve. Gratitude. Second.
There's the first and a second, all of those in favor.
Aye.
I'm sure we'll also send out thank you notes. With that, that passes. I believe there's 5 or 6 field trips on here as well.
I'm impressed that Greenville, I was going to San Francisco for the ballet.
Awesome, huh?
Yeah. God. Move to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second, all of those in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's approved. This is the time in the meeting when we go into closed session. If you have a copy of the agenda, gives you an outline of what we'll be discussing, which includes conference with real estate negotiators, public employment, things of that nature. That's okay.
Okay, we're back up.
Okay, thank you. We're reconvening at 7:01. Closed session. And nothing, do we have anything to report out of closed session?
Yes, you need to read that.
Oh, okay, no, I know that, but I think that's listed on here already, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you read that.
So there's nothing we decide in closed session that needs to be reported out, is there?
Yes,
Oh,
you have to read it.
okay, well, that'll be part of the recommendation. It's already on the agenda though. Under personnel items, so. Okay, item 14 is personnel items.
Bill, David's separate from the personnel items. It wasn't on the confidential personnel agenda as it's a contract.
Okay, I'm sorry, one more time.
It's a contract, so it wasn't on the.
Okay, so we
the
need to
personnel
report
agenda.
out of
Correct.
closed session.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So we do have one item to report out of closed session, and that's the contract employee agreement between Plymouth County Office of Education and Plymouth Unified School District with James Frost and the district. Do I need to include any more information off of this? Read the whole thing? Okay. This is a contract between school district and the Office of Education with James Frost of Arnold, California. And the services to be performed under this agreement consist of the following. The interim superintendent to oversee the Plymouth Unified School District while a permanent superintendent is being selected. Duties will include, but are not limited to managing daily operations, enforcing policies, maintaining stability, and supporting strategic initiatives. The interim superintendent will work closely with the school board to ensure a smooth transition in exchange for the job. PUSD agrees to pay contract employee as follows. The rate of pay is $650 per day. And this job shall commence November 19th, 2024, and to be completed no later than June 30th, 2025. And duties will be performed according to the following schedule. That's every Tuesday through Thursday during the remainder of the school year, excluding holidays. And there's some other legal language, but we do want to include on here that Mr. Frost shall have use of a district-owned and operated apartment during the terms of this contract. No rent will be charged to Mr. Frost. However, Mr. Frost will be responsible for all utilities except water and sewer, which are provided by the district. And any provision in this agreement is found to be invalid shall have no effect on the validity of the remaining provisions. And the parties have caused this agreement to be executed by the persons whose names appear below. And that includes Melissa Leal, who has been the acting or interim superintendent for a while now. That's signed today, and Mr. Frost has also signed this contract. And that was again, that was something that was decided in closed and approved in closed session. Moving on to personnel items. There's a PCOE transactions, but they're just for information only. And then we have the PUSD action items, and the recommendation is that we approve the human resources agenda items. And I'm looking for
I'll move to approve.
first and a second. There's a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. And at this time, I'd like to welcome and introduce Mr. Jim Frost as the PUSD interim superintendent.
Yay.
Thank you. Looking forward to it. Appreciate you being willing to do this. And also, in that capacity, we also would like to appoint the PUSD interim superintendent as secretary to the board. And we need a motion on this.
So moved. A second.
There's a first and a second. All those in favor? Motion carries. And what about item C on here?
That's the tentative agreement,
So-
information purposes for CFA 230.
But there's no,
No.
do we have to approve it or?
No, information, and then the second was, to ratify the salary.
Okay. So I have this for you to sign, and this is just to promote the fiscal responsibility and accountability with CSEA 230.
Is that right there?
Yeah.
Your course is
The 13th.
13th. Go.
Can I ask our new interim superintendent a question?
Sorry, what's
Before
that?
we proceed, I just want to make sure. So on the county side, I actually feel like they need to approve the tentative agreement as being.
Yes.
county board. Yeah, so I think we just roll back a little bit, and if you guys could vote on the tentative agreement rather than information
Okay.
Tentative agreement about what I agree.
about, so item C.
With the association with 230.
Mhm. Yes. So C.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
There's a first and there's a second. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passes.
You got.
And then we also have the beginning this bargaining disclosures. I'm sorry. An information item, and then, but we also have a recommendation.
Yeah. That's,
I
We take care of that.
2024 K5 AB 1200.
And the actual PUSD resolution is 1665, rather than what originally appeared on the agenda is 1664. That was amended at the beginning of today's meeting. And we need a first and a second on that.
Jody just did the first, she did the first on item D, and then I think you're talking about item E.
Oh, I thought D was. Okay,
Didn't you?
Item D is, I made that recommendation to approve.
we approved it, right?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Now we can do E, now E, yeah.
Okay, now, yeah, okay. PUSD resolution 1665, adoption of certified substitute salary schedule. Looking for a person to second.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's the governing board, we need to adopt a salary schedule even for our substitutes and then post that. And so nothing has changed. It's just that we are just following ed code and we are asking for approval of a salary schedule for those subs. You guys can see that we are at $200 a day, prorated for partial days at 0.33. And then our retirees are at $300 a day. Our long-term subs after the 21st day pay goes up to the appropriate column on the certificated salary schedule. And if the assignment starts on the first day of the school year, the long-term rate will start on the day one of the assignment. And so it's what we've been doing. It's just we need to post it.
So I move to approve PUSD resolution 1665.
Okay, there's a first and a second. This is a roll call vote.
Aye.
Nope.
Aye.
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 Mm-hmm.
It's approved.
We went in order. Yeah. We'll remember.
It helps if we, since we all approved. Any future agenda items we need to mention?
We need to have on the December to appoint new officers.
Okay.
And then just to bring back those policies.
Yeah.
So we'll have lots of policies.
Yeah.
Woohoo, my favorite.
Prediction meeting. And,
So policies.
so we're going to, when's the next meeting date?
December 11th.
December 11th?
And where?
It's back in Quincy.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it's
Wednesday, December 11th, right?
December 11th. Okay. At 4 PM. The district office in Quincy will adjourn until that date.
Thank you.